The weather has swung and the cold, snowy weather has set in. I'm on the road with Rack Stacker's warehouse manager, Tyrell Goweiler. This will be our first road trip together since the COVID outbreak, and we're both excited to see what's in store. Using our skills, we'll be scouting throughout the show, showing and sharing tips along the way to find that elusive white-tailed buck. All right, man. Last day, last hour. Welcome to the Homegrown Hunter TV. We'll be right back.
Welcome to another great season of the Homegrown Hunter.
Sure.
Good girl.
Homegrown Hunter TV is brought to you by Rack Stacker, Canada's leader in big game attractants. Campbellford Chrysler, a small town dealer with a huge inventory. Huckabones Equipment, Ottawa Valley's Kubota dealer. Bishop Lake Outdoors, First Place Trailers, L10 Outdoor Solutions, Badlands Packs and Apparel, the original portable winch, Nature of Design Signs and Graphics, and these other fine sponsors.
In part 1 of Manitoba Whitetails, I took you with me as I hunted unseasonably warm weather across this beautiful province. After seeing many white-tailed deer and a great mix of muleys, which of course wasn't on the target list, I ended up going home empty-handed. While traveling there my first year, I did end up meeting some great landowners that showed me around and had given me some great ideas on where to hunt the next time I was up. Now, I'm here for the second time, knowing the land a little bit better and with cold, snowy weather on the horizon. That's the second fence post that we've seen coming down this fence line. Absolutely shrapnel. I'm going to cut that down, take it home for my pedestal when I'm done. Swooped in together. There's the spiker. One's walking right now. Yep. Oh yeah, I can see the spikes. What's he looking at? He's the one that was running them all over the place. You see that? Yeah. God. Dude, there's a lot of deer over there. Yeah. Yeah, there's that spiker again. It's him, man. He's pushing him like crazy. That blind is where we were originally sitting. But after seeing all those deer traveling through this brush line and over to the opposite field, we chose to move around the side of the fence line that runs east and west, in hopes to catch that elusive whitetail that we might be missing out on. I think we can see more from here. You can see right there. The buck.
closed captioning has been brought to you by the original portable winch. Compact, lightweight, and can be carried anywhere.
Tyrell and I are hunting southwestern Manitoba, made up of large tracts of prairie farmland with small pockets of low-growing shrubs, marsh, and cattail grasses. This can make it difficult to hunt not knowing where they are in conjunction to the wind that time of day that you're hunting.
And now, this week's Cut to the Chase segment, brought to you by Rack Stacker.
As whitetail hunters, we all know that they can smell us downwind at any given time, so it's important for us to combat that. Rack Stackers developed a fantastic product called the Tension Getter. It comes in 3 different flavors. It's a fantastic, easy to handle spray bottle that you can keep in your backpack. You can spray it on your boots, you can spray it at a bait site. It's a very sweet smelling apple scent. We got coconut, vanilla, and persimmon. Now if you want, you can also go to rackstacker.ca for full details, but they will be available across Canada at all of our dealer locations. Check it out, because if you've got a province that you're hunting that's not allowing baiting, like Manitoba, you're going to want to have this in your pack this coming fall. Taking a break in the middle of the day, we were able to visit Mike Berger at the farm. Being a full-time beef farmer and many chores on the list, it's tough for him to break away during these sunny days like this. Mike has been gracious enough to allow us to come out, and we are very thankful for the opportunity to be here. Giving a little farmhand never hurts anybody. I couldn't believe how fast the weather had changed while being in the blind. The snow was nearly horizontal and the gusts were up to 80 kilometers an hour. I'd rather be in the blind as opposed to sitting on the couch though. I did end up seeing some deer, but the visibility was brutal, so I headed to my truck to warm up and to do some afternoon scouting. The weather had lifted, and we were really starting to see some deer activity that Mike had always talked about. I watched this young buck as he had chased a doe across the field right to where I was allowed to hunt. This evening's hunt should be good, seeing all the deer on the move. Being the last day of the hunt, Mike had highly suggested we split up and hunt 2 different spots. I was starting to get some activity, and so was Tyrell.
Located in Cloyne, Ontario, Bishop Lake Outdoors is the largest Browning gun and accessory dealer in the area. Bishop Lake Outdoors has a large selection of guns to choose from, including rifles, muzzle loaders, shotguns, and it's the area's only authorized Excalibur dealer. Celebrating 20 years in business serving the community. Stop in and see the staff at Bishop Lake Outdoors.
Welcome back to the Homegrown Hunter TV. I'm your host, Steve Elming. After following Mike Berger's recommendations, Tyrell and I had split up and decided to hunt different stands. He was hunting over an older alfalfa field with lots of activity, and I was hunting on the backside of my old stand where I was seeing lots of daytime activity.
I was hunting on the edge of an alfalfa field that was getting lots of deer activity. You might be wondering why I wasn't shooting a deer like this, but I'd heard lots about the quality of deer that Manitoba produces. I wasn't willing to shoot a younger buck like this. Being my first Manitoba deer hunt, I was holding out for something a little more mature.
It's November 17th. I'm in Manitoba, hunting with good friend Mike Berger and Steve Elmy. Tonight's the first night that I've been sitting separate from Steve. I was filming for him. We've had lots of action tonight. It's cold. It's minus 6 degrees, and I think feel like minus 16. It's very windy. We got like 65-kilometer-an-hour gusts. I've seen lots of deer. I think I'm over 20 now. I still have deer up in front of me right now. I've had 3 bucks in. The first one was a shooter, but he was in and out too quick. And then I had a nice 8-point come in, too small for what I want to go for. Then there was a little spiker, kind of funny on one side. Lots of does and lots of fawns. Still about 20 minutes left in shooting light. So hopefully big boy comes in. Wish me luck.
This week's Tech Tip is brought to you by Huckabones Equipment, Ottawa Valley's Kubota dealer.
Would you believe it? Another shift in the weather. From what was a northwest wind originally is now turning to a south wind, which is blowing directly at the deer. So Tyrell had moved his stand across to the opposite fence line so that the wind was in his favor for this evening hunt. Never be afraid to change your plans as the weather changes.
This buck is an awesome Manitoba up-and-comer. Super tight, super tall, and very young. If you give him a few more years, who knows what he could turn into. Being a young deer, we saw him out a lot during daylight.
down. Yes. That buck came from like 1,000 yards. Worked his way all the way across the field. Whew, he left 2 does and walked all the way over here. Whew, it's cold. Multiple times, he almost turned off. But he kept coming. And I think my shot was like 80 yards. He was close. Might have even been less than that. That was cool. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate everything you've done, getting us here and taking care of us. That was awesome. It's been 15 or 20 minutes. I guess I don't really need to whisper anymore. Mike is on his way to come help me recover it. And Steve just texted me and said that he's got a big buck down too. So it's awesome. So pumped. But I'm gonna swing around the camera and show you guys. He was laying up a little bit still. He's flattened right out, so I think he's expired, and we're gonna go get him as soon as Mike gets here. I'm pumped.
I think I just screwed up. I didn't even have time to prepare for that deer. Ty texted and said he shot a buck. Sorry. We just pulled a double. And I looked to my left and there's a buck standing on the fence line. Oh, fellas. It's been a long week. Okay, so I'm sitting here on the fence line. I seen a young 8-point buck come through. There another 7 or 8 different does had gone by earlier. I've had a really tough week. This weather has been absolutely insane. Like fog, crazy fog the first day. And yesterday was wickedly blowing winds. My blind was all over the place. Unbelievable. They're texting me. Everybody's fired up. Mike's excited. He's going to get Ty right now. I just dropped a buck in the first shot, and I think I didn't hit record. I'm serious, brother. So I'm texting you guys, and I looked to my left, and there's a buck standing along the fence line where the deer come out, and I was like, holy crap. And I just I turned my camera, turned it on, got it set up, but I think I double punched the record or something. I can't recall. But he's down. He dropped like a stone right beside the fence.
Nice. This is insane.
Dude, just...
Okay, where am I going? You want me to go to Tyrell first?
Go to Ty first, man. I'm going to soak this in a little bit, and I'm going to go take a look at him.
Whoa, yes, sir. Okay.
All right, man. Oh, there. Yeah. There you go. First Manitoba Whitetail.
First Manitoba Whitetail. A pretty good one at that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Come
Yeah,
on.
you bet, buddy.
It's pretty heavy, too.
Mm-hmm. Never had him on camera, though.
No?
Nope. Well, they're roaming around lots now.
Well, had a pretty good one. Had some really cold and windy weather. It was snowing like crazy yesterday and blowing all over the place, but had to move the ground blind yesterday because the wind was supposed to change. So I moved it yesterday when I was done hunting and came back in tonight. And this guy came from probably almost 1,000 yards. He was with 2 does and left them. You can see right on his antlers where he's been rubbing recently. But about an 80-yard shot. Everything worked out really nice. I wanted to say thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no worries, buddy. Anytime.
And now you gotta go get Steve's.
Right up here, fellas. Well, this is my second year in Manitoba. I've been hunting with my good friend Mike here. He's got some great property, lots of deer as you can tell from the show. I ended up shooting this nice 8-point buck. I believe to be about a 3.5-year-old deer. Passed up obviously smaller deer than this, but I apologize if I did end up double punching that record button. I always tell my camera guys to be cautious of that, but when you're self-filming, it's a challenge to keep your eye on so many different targets. And then of course when this happens so fast, because he's only standing 8 yards from where he come out, I had to make it happen. It was just about 5 o'clock, shooting light was 5:30, but I told myself because it's the last day I'm going to shoot a doe if I had to. So luckily I got myself a good buck. It's my first Manitoba buck. I want to thank Mike for allowing Tyrell and myself to come out here. A last minute clip before we leave the show. I wanted to let everybody know that Tyrell, if he weren't watching that deer lay down and die, he wouldn't have had much of a trail to track. He made a fantastic shot, but look at the amount of blood that he's lost. It's literally the size of my hand. These guys were trying to track the deer. He laid down right here, and that's the only blood that was lost. So if you feel confident in shooting your deer, make sure you spend the time to do a bunch of half moons in the area that you think he went. You might just find him laying there. Thanks for joining us on the Homegrown Hunter TV. I'm your host, Steve Elmy. Until next time.
For past episodes, be sure to check out hghtv.ca. Until next time.